Ready? All right, good evening and welcome to the logo celebration. And we have prepared some wonderful things to share with you. Our little ones have prepared a beautiful song that you'll be very familiar with. We have a new edition just now, so just have fun with that. You got to wait till it's your turn to play, okay? Which doesn't ever play, so maybe we should get you one that should play. Here, let me help this out. Yeah. Oh, a yellow one. That you just ring away. All right, so here we go. Good job. And what song was that? What song was it? Jesus Loves Me. That's right. See, they did so good you knew it. All right, so this group is a big old group, we have two additionals that are going to be joining this group. Luca Dill is going to be joining us. Come on, I got candy. And Soren Wilson. Soren. Come here, Soren. Come here. Good job, good job. Woo! Yay! And we have a few of the bigger ones that will be joining the 3rd through 5th graders. Emmett Wilson, Tatum Eisenhower, and Kendall Thompson. Woo! There you go. All right. And tonight we have the 3rd through 5th graders. This group is our smaller group. And some days we have 4 or 5, and some days we have 1. So today we have 1. So Mr. James is going to come and share with us a wonderful talent. Do you need the phone? You got it? You got it memorized? Okay. You got to say it loud.
If Mary had Jesus, and Jesus was a little lamb, did that mean Mary had a little lamb?
Good job. Good job. He said earlier he knew 2 jokes, and I said, well, does that have Jesus in it? So we worked on that one. So very good. Very good. All right, and we have several of this group that is moving up. Mallory, Cowan, Elijah Ingram, Bella Jenkins, Easton Schmidt, Wesley Wilkerson, and Kenley Brooks will be moving up from this group into youth. So watch out, big kids. Here we come. Now we have the youth that will be presenting, and they actually have several skits that they're going to be sharing with us. The first one is called The Parable of the Banquet. Right.
Yes, well, youth, and we can't figure it out.
I'm short.
That's not your problem.
I think this one is good. Move. No, you have to shoot over there. You're shorter than me, so. I can't. I'm first. You're gonna be first. I don't know how. Hello? Hit me in the face.
When the banquet was finally ready, he sent his servants to tell all those who had been invited that it was time to come. Once the servants told the guests that everything was ready, they began to give excuses.
I just bought a field, and I must go and see it. Please excuse me.
I have just bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I am on my way to try them out. Please excuse me.
I just got married, so I can't come.
The servants came back and reported this to their master. The master became angry and said to his servants, "Go out quickly into the streets and alleys of the town and bring in the poor, the crippled, the blind, and the lame." His servants did so, but still the banquet hall was not filled.
Sir, what you have ordered has been done, but there's still room.
Go out to the roads and country lanes and make them come in, so that my house will be full. I tell you, not one of those people who were invited will get a taste of my banquet.
And now we have the parable of the lost son.
Who is narrator?
I am narrator. Okay, do I start? Okay. Once there was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to his father,
Father, give me my share of the family
Estate.
estate. I want it now.
So the father divided the estate between the 2 sons and paid the younger son his share. Not long after that, the younger son took his inheritance and set off for a distant country, and there he squandered his wealth in wild living. After he had spent everything, there was a severe famine in the country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of the country, who gave him a job feeding pigs. The younger son longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. After a while, he came to his senses and said,
My father's servants have food to spare, and I am here starving to death. I should go back to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Please let me be one of your hired men.
So he got up and went back to his father's house, but while he was still a long way off, his father saw him coming. The father was filled with joy and ran to meet his son. He threw his arms around him and kissed him.
Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son.
But the father said to his servants,
Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger, sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate, for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost, has been found.
So they began to celebrate. Meanwhile, the older son was in the field. When he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of the servants and asked him what was going on.
Your brother has come back home, and your father has killed the fattened calf to celebrate because your brother has come back.
The older brother became angry and refused to go in. So his father went out, asked him to come in and join the celebration, but he answered his father,
All these years I've served you and never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son who has squandered your money comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him.
My son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But when we had to celebrate and be glad, because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again, he was lost and is now found.
And now we have the parable of the shrewd manager.
We can move them all up.
I think this one's fine. Can I have that one? Oh, wait, I go first.
You know how to move them, right?
Can I go? There was once a rich man whose manager was accused of wasting money. The rich man called in the manager and asked him,
What is this I hear about you? Give an account of your management. Because you cannot be manager any longer, you are fired.
The manager said to himself,
Oh no, what shall I do? My master is taking away my job. I'm not strong enough to dig, and I'm too ashamed to beg. Wait, I have an idea. I know what I can do so the people will welcome me in their houses and provide for me.
The manager called in each one of his master's debtors.
How much do you owe my master?
800 gallons of olive oil.
Give me your bill. I will cross out 800 and write in 400 instead.
Hey, thanks.
And you, how much do you owe my master?
1,000 bushels of wheat.
Give me your bill. I will scratch out 1,000 and make it only 800.
Thanks.
Believe it or not, the rich man did not become angry at the manager for doing this. He was amazed at how shrewdly the manager had acted, making the debtors into his friends by reducing their debt. Jesus said, use your worldly wealth to gain friends for yourselves, so that when your wealth is gone, you will be welcomed into eternal dwellings. If you show yourself trustworthy in handling worldly wealth, you will be trusted with heavenly wealth. He who provides himself self-trustworthy with little things will then be trusted with great things.
And now we have the parable of the rich man and Lazarus.
Once there was a rich man who was dressed in purple and fine linen and lived in luxury every day. At his gate lay a beggar named Lazarus, who was covered with sores. The dogs would come and lick his sores. Lazarus had no food and longed to eat what fell from the rich man's table. Then the time came when both of the rich man and Lazarus died. The angels carried poor Lazarus to the place where Abraham was. But the rich man went to hell. From hell the rich man looked up and saw Lazarus with Abraham. Lazarus was happy where he was, but the rich man was in torment.
Abraham, Father Abraham, have pity on me and send Lazarus to dip his finger in water and drip it on my tongue to cool it, because I am in agony in all this fire.
Son, remember that in your lifetime you lived in comfort and received many good things, while Lazarus had a miserable life. Now it is reversed. Lazarus is in comfort and you are in agony. And besides, there's a huge gap between us no one can cross over.
I beg you, Father Abraham, send Lazarus to my father's house so he can warn my 5 brothers about this place. I don't want them to come here to this place of torment.
They have Moses and the prophets. Let your brothers listen to them.
No, Father Abraham, if someone from the dead goes to them, they will repent.
If your brothers will not listen to the Moses and the prophets, they will not be convinced, even if someone rises from the dead.
And now we have the parable of the 10 minas.
It's so tall.
There we go.
A prince of certain land went on a long journey to a distant land. While in that distant land, he would be promoted from prince to king. Before he left, he gave 10 of his servants a coin called a mina and told them to put it to good use while he was gone.
Here is a mina for each of you. When I come back, I will ask what you did with this money while I was away.
Right before the prince left, the people of his land said to him,
We hate you. We don't want you to be our king. We hope you never return.
The prince went on his long journey, and eventually he did indeed return home. When he came back, he was no longer just a prince. He had been promoted to being king. As he had promised, he called in those 10 servants to find out what they had done with their minas.
And what do you do with that mina I gave you?
Sir, your mina has earned 10 more. I can give you 11 minas.
Well done, my good servant. Because you have been trustworthy in this small matter, I will make you the ruler over 10 cities. And you, what did you do with the mina?
Sir, your mina has earned 5 more. Here are 6 minas in return.
Well done. I will give you 5 cities. And you, what did you do with the mina?
Sir, here's your mina. I have kept it hidden away in a piece of cloth. I was afraid. I know you are a hard man. You take out what you did not put in, and you reap what you did not sow.
What? I will judge you by your own words, you wicked servant. What do you mean that I am a hard man, taking out what I did not put in and reaping what I did not sow? You could have been at least put the mina in the bank and made a little bit of interest on it. I will take that mina from you and give it to my faithful servant who made 10 minas.
But, sir, that man already has 10 minas.
I'll tell you that. Thank you. I was taking a breath, okay? Thank you. Dramatic pause is key in these things. I tell you that to everyone who has more will be given, but for the one who has nothing, even what he has will be taken away. And as for those enemies of mine who do not want me to become king, bring them to me and kill them in front of me.
Gosh.
Dark twist, yeah. I don't know.
And now we have the parable of the tenants of the vineyard.
A certain man planted a vineyard, rented it out to some farmers, and then went away on a long journey. At harvest time, he sent a servant to the tenants so they would give him some of the fruit that the vineyard had produced. But the tenants beat the servant and sent him away with nothing. The man sent another servant, but they did the same thing to him. When he sent a third servant, the tenants beat him up and threw him out of the vineyard. Then the owner of the vineyard said,
"What shall I do? I know. I will send my son. They will respect him."
But when the tenants saw the son coming, they said to themselves,
"This is our heir of the vineyard. Let's kill him, and then the inheritance will be ours."
So they threw him out of the vineyard and killed him. Now what will the owner do? Will he not get rid of the tenants and give the vineyard to someone else? As it says in the scriptures, the stone that the builders rejected has become the capstone.
And moving from our junior high up to high school is Piper Bird, Mason Sharp, Jonah Dew, Isaiah Gonzalez, Hayden Evans, Mason Fulton, Skylar Lee, and Gabe Osborne. All right, these youth did a great job. Our children youth did a great job, and our youth will be starting Wednesday nights. We'll be meeting from 6 to 8 with dinner. Next week, we're going to join the high school for Smash Week and go to Jinx. Meet me there at 5 o'clock. Wear a church shirt, $2 to get in. The younger ones, I'll be doing activities throughout the summer, so watch for that. I'll be mailing out information. But in order to have Logos, it takes a multitude of volunteers, and we are so thankful for all of those. So when I come forward, come up and get a little thank you. Cynthia Jensen, Kelly Harris, Chris Harris, Jessica Wilson, Travis Wilson, Carol Nichols, Marilyn Nichols, Colton Lott, Tasha Bird, Jamie Gray, Callie Nitzel, Tamara Weimer, Tara Hines Young, Retha Sanders, Sarah Bruhard, Debbie Thomas, Larry Thomas, Darcy Dill, Ann Ricketts, Brady Grubbs, Desiree Morgan, Anna Reinhardt, Curtis Dew, and Julie Slaymaker. Good job. you so much. So we are so excited that we are all back together. So we are going to go down to dinner in the fellowship hall. We'll sit down at our tables, and then one at a time I'll release you to go up and get our food. And then you can go through the line and get your chips and your drinks and all that. And then we will not be jumping until after we eat. So don't start jumping. You've got plenty of time, I promise. But let's all head down to the fellowship.